which rookie quarterback do you believe is under the most pressure to succeed year one?
I think it's Trevor Lawrence in Jacksonville. Look, I mean, we knew who the number one pick in the 2021 draft was going to be before we knew who the number one pick in the 2020 draft was going to be. I mean, this guy has been coming for a long time, and much is expected of him. We're talking earlier in the show about, is he the next Peyton Manning? I mean, that's a pretty significant thing to hang on a guy that's never taken an NFL snap. But that's who he is, and that's what the expectation is. So that's a ton of pressure to live up to for Trevor Lawrence. I would pick him.
It's an interesting one. Dominique, which one do you think is the most pressure?
I got to go with Trey Lance. He's the only one who's going to a team where we're expecting Super Bowl. Like, this team is a Super Bowl caliber talent, Super Bowl caliber coach and front office with John Lynch, and they've added him. And he's coming from a place in North Dakota where there was not a ton of high-level football. He didn't even throw the ball that much when he was there. So I think there's a lot of pressure on him to be able to take this offense to the next level. The expectations are not nearly as high for any of the other first-round drafted quarterbacks.
All right, so that's 2 votes and no Mac Jones yet. What do you think, Orlovsky?
This is Trevor Lawrence, and it's not even close. I mean, we're not expecting Trevor Lawrence to be the number one pick. To Graz's point, we have referenced Trevor Lawrence to John Elway and Peyton Manning. And in many ways, his job is going to be harder than theirs. We're expecting Trevor Lawrence to be a Hall of Famer. Guys, in the 3 years before the Denver Broncos selected John Elway or got John Elway via the trade, all that stuff, they were 21-20. They weren't an awful football team. In the 3 years before the Colts selected Peyton Manning, they were like 31-29. Again, not an awful football team. In the 3 years previous to selecting Trevor Lawrence, the Jags are 12-36. We have talked about him in comparison to Hall of Famers, and their jobs were actually easier given the circumstances that they stepped into relative to what Trevor Lawrence is stepping into. He has to go play Hall of Fame caliber football for the hype to, or for the production to match the hype. I have said this, he's got to be like LeBron James when it comes to the expectation of how he performs. He can't be a number one pick. He's got to be a Hall of Famer.
Yeah, I agree with that. Maybe over the course of their careers, the one with the greatest expectations, of course, is Lawrence. But I think in the short term, I think we're overlooking the obvious one, and that's Justin Fields. Justin Fields is being brought into Chicago to save the jobs of the coach and the general manager. That is a lot of pressure, especially when the head coach is sort of the offense as well. So Matt Nagy is not just, a figure sitting in an office somewhere. He's someone that Fields is going to be working very closely with. And sometimes I feel like in the national media, we talk about the Bears like they were the Jets or the Jaguars last year. But believe me, the fans in Chicago know that team won 8 games a year ago and made the playoffs. The expectation is to get to the playoffs. If Rodgers is out of Green Bay, the expectation is to win that division. I think there is a lot on Justin Fields in the short term in Chicago. We'll break on that thought. Thank you for watching ESPN on YouTube. For live streaming sports and premium content, subscribe to ESPN+.